So we started about 3 years ago, and we are the largest online classifieds business in Africa. We're in the verticals of travel, jobs, cars and real estate in about 8 attractive economies in the continent.
And within those marketplaces, what are the brand names attached?
So in jobs we've got brightermonday.com, which is the #1 job site in East Africa, jobberman.com, which is the #1 job site in several West African countries, private property in South Africa and Nigeria in real estate, and Buy Rent Kenya in real estate in East Africa, and Safari Now and Stay Now. They're the same company with 2 different brands in South Africa and East Africa. And Checky and Cars, I forgot about that.
Yes, absolutely. I was about to say, what's the biggest of those properties?
Well, it depends which way you measure it. So the property businesses have been established the longest in South Africa, which is a mature market. So by revenue and audience size and maturity, the property businesses and the travel businesses in South Africa. By long-term audience size, the jobs businesses will be biggest, and by definition, because Nigeria and West Africa has got such a massive population, at the end of this, I think jobberman.com will be the biggest property we have.
And what's the level of users, not the specific number, but sort of what order of users are making use of these sites?
So it sort of depends on the maturity of the business. So I think continent-wide, you're going to test me here, but we'll certainly be doing about 1 billion page impressions per year, and I think we'll get to 30 to 40 million unique users, somewhere around that sort of figure this year.
So there's a lot of people using the internet.
Yeah. I think internet penetration growth rates are 20-25% per year, so structurally that's moving very, very fast. And I often use Facebook usage as a proxy for the internet in Africa. And so if you look at a country like Kenya, you're looking at 80 to 100% growth rate per year of Facebook users in these markets.
And in terms of the business model, what makes the company money?
They're all slightly different, but they all essentially revolve around advertising or value-added service to the companies who are in the marketplace. So in jobs, for example, a recruitment agency or an employer will pay us extra to access a resume database, or to filter ad response, or to promote their brand. In cars, dealers will pay a subscription to list all their services, and we give them sort of some software products that help them manage their businesses. In real estate, similar sort of thing. In travel, we take a percentage of the booking fee for accommodation and travel services.
So who are your competitors?
Well, I think there's probably 5 big players in sub-Saharan Africa: ourselves, Naspers, Ringia, the Swiss media company, Rocket Internet, with a bunch of startups, and then you've got some local South African players, or in West Africa we've got Schibsted, the big Swedish media company. So a lot of foreign companies, and then you've got 2 or 3 localized players, so Nation Media Group in classifieds, Standard Media Group, potentially some of the telephone carriers you could potentially perceive as competitors to some degree. So Safaricom has got My Marketplace, and you see that sort of thing a little bit as well. Yeah, I think the main ones are probably us, Naspers and Rocket. They're certainly the biggest with the most traction in the most markets we are.
And what are your expansion plans?
Well, I think we're not an organically growing company in the sense that you can grow organically. So if you look at Checky, we started it from scratch and we're growing it organically by geography, but also we've grown very fast through M&A and investment. So sometimes we'll take a minority stake in a company like Buy Rent Kenya, help them succeed, or sometimes we'll go and purchase outright an existing business that we think is winning. So we've got all those sorts of strategies to grow, but really we're very much focused on dominant marketplaces and dominant brands in combinations of verticals and geographies. And so we're certainly not, I think we differ from, say, Rocket or maybe Naspers a little bit, where they see Africa as a whole market, they want to get the whole market, whereas I don't think anyone is going to win in Central African Republic anytime soon.
Yeah. So there's a limited number of geographies.
Yeah, so we choose quite carefully, and we want attractive marketplaces where we can be successful, and we devote our resources to succeeding quite specifically in those combinations.
And you're helped in this by the fact that Tiger Global is one of your investors.
So we've got 2 investors. Tiger Global was our first investor, And we've had a good relationship with them over many years in different parts of the group. So Tiger was an investor in some of the group that we later bought, and they're an investor in us as a group. And previously, in my previous career, at the company I was with, had a very strong relationship with Tiger too. So they've been a very supportive investor, very much focused in this space in emerging markets, and so we've been able to leverage their portfolio of companies and networks for not only capital but also expertise. I think our second investor is a strategic investor, Seek.com, which is the #1 job website in the world by market cap, and obviously jobs is a very important business for us, and so that's also a very, very strong relationship, and so those two investors particularly have been very supportive of us over the years.